Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said in a recent interview that if she could reverse just one ruling over her entire career, it would be the case of Citizens United. She said the notion that we have all the democracy that money can buy strays so far from what our democracy is supposed to be. According to the Center for Responsive Politics, politicians, political parties, and special interest groups have already spent a record $3.7 billion on the 2014 midterm elections alone. Russ Choma is money and politics reporter for the Center for Responsive Politics, an organization that has tracked campaign spending for the past 30 years.
Like the underlying principle, and this has been true for a long time, since the 1970s, is that corporations shouldn't be allowed to give money directly to a candidate because it creates impropriety, or at least the appearance of impropriety.
In 2010, that changed. The outcome of Citizens United decided that anybody, besides traditional political parties and the candidates themselves, can throw unlimited amounts of money into an election campaign, and they don't have to report what's spent or by who.
American Crossroads is responsible for the content.
The ruling changed campaign spending forever. More than anything, it paved the way for the Super PAC, or Super Political Action Committee.
A traditional PAC or a campaign can only accept $2,600 for a campaign or $5,000 for a PAC. These super PACs can accept anything. If you can write them a check, they can take it.
Super PACs are like a conduit for big money into politics, conditioned by the requirement that wealthy donors don't coordinate with the candidates themselves. A middleman who accepts money and spends it on analysts, political strategists, and most of all, lots and lots of ads.
23 million of us without full-time work.
4 years after the Citizens United decision, campaign spending keeps going up. What's different in 2014 is that an increasingly smaller handful of wealthy individuals are writing much bigger checks. Nobody knows exactly who is donating how much and for what, but one thing that's clear, it's not coming from the average person.
Generally, I give anywhere from $50 to $100 to most campaigns.
Highest I can spend for a candidate, probably $150.
It's not even the 1% of Americans. It's very, 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 very few Americans. And we're talking about political donations that are, six-figure, seven-figure, even eight-figure donations. I mean, there are people who this cycle have given 20, 25, 50, $75 million to outside groups.
With such large contributions, many fear that donors could expect something in return for their support. Rather than buying out politicians, Russ Choma says outside group funding is more about access.
When the politicians, when the members of Congress have a tough issue in front of them and they're trying to decide what they should do about it, if you give them a big check, if you're supportive of them, you've got that access to them. You're spending time with them, and you can give them your view on this, and they're likely to listen to you.
With nationwide interest in the midterm elections already at an all-time low, disconnecting voters from campaign funding could further alienate people from politics in the United States.
You're cutting a lot of people out of the system. I mean, it's a reality that money helps get people elected. And so what all this means, or what it seems to be pointing in the direction of, is that fewer people are going to be paying more money to fund our election. So less people are going to be involved with it. If it's the price of our democracy, funding these elections, there's going to be less people picking up the tab.
As midterm voters cast their ballots this year, they'll come face to face with an evolving political process, what some have referred to as all the democracy money can buy.